Forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer.
Well, that was President Trump at his inauguration just 10 months ago. Hard to believe. 10 months ago,
right?
Promising his tax reform plan will be for every American, but obviously not everyone's feeling that way about the current Republican tax bills, at least when they're getting into the weeds. Let's get back to our audience. We have Rebecca. She is a former Democrat who voted for Donald Trump. Rebecca, where are you? Oh, there you are, way back there.
She is?
You have a question for the speaker.
Oh, I can't see her. I'm going to over here. Good.
From the great state of Maryland. Mr. Speaker, first, I have to say, I am impressed. This is clearly an issue for you that's from the heart, isn't it? You've got your facts and figures, but it really matters to you. Yeah, exactly. Right. Now, I know we've been over this, but I want you to really break it down for me. I am a successful small business owner. I pay that ouch tax rate. So my question to you is, does this tax plan really help women-owned, minority-owned, and especially veteran-owned small businesses? Will it help them grow?
Yes. Can I just ask a quick, are you a sub-S corporation?
Sub-S.
Yeah, perfect. It's just I want to understand her structure so I can answer it more specifically. So it's basically what I said before. So if you are any business, and we don't distinguish between who owns the business, but if you own a small business like a subchapter S corporation, right now, your top effective tax rate can go as high as 44.6%. That's crazy. You throw, I don't know what Maryland's income tax rate is, but I got to think it's kind of high. Probably more than 5 or 6%. She's taxed over 50% on her small business. It could be. I don't know what your actual tax rate is, but her business could be taxed that high. And how is she going to be able to compete in a global economy? Or how is she even going to compete in her local economy? Especially if, I don't know what kind of business you have, but if you have to compete with other businesses that use tax loopholes that don't pay those kinds of rates. So the whole point of this is to make the system fairer and simpler and lower those tax rates. So for these small businesses, what we're saying is take that small business income and drop its tax rate and get it down almost 40% down to 25%. We have to have these rules to make sure that not just everybody and their brother can all of a sudden declare themselves a small business and get their tax rates dropped. So we have to have important rules to guard against that. But the whole purpose of this is to get those tax rates down. That's number one. Number two, we say to these small businesses, you can invest in your business, buy equipment, buy a car, buy a van, buy computers, buy whatever it is you do, and you can write off 100% of the cost of that investment in the year you do it. That, we call that expensing. And for small businesses, 100% full expensing so that you'll do that. Then we say, as you work your way up the income scale, if you're just getting started, so if you're just starting as a minority business or as a women-owned business, don't tax you at 25%, tax you at 9% after your expenses because you can write off all of your investment in your plant and equipment. So what that does is it helps nurture small businesses that are getting up and started. Small businesses that are just getting formed, they don't have cash flow. They don't have a lot of income. So you want to give them the break so that they can build their business and start getting cash flow and start getting income, and don't smack them with a high tax rate when they just start getting successful. Nurture it, and then top their tax rate, ideally at 25%.
All right, I hate to keep coming back to this, but in some of these big states, state and local tax deductions, an individual, is a big deal. Mm-hmm. You take that out. The Senate plan does not. And
well, again, they take it out completely.
Yeah, they take it out, but you still have it in, I'm saying.
Yeah, right. So here's what we say. We say, because we want to get everybody's tax rates down across the board, and the analysis shows us that taxpayers in all states get a net tax cut. But there are clearly going to be individuals that utilize really big deductions that may not do so well. But we believe everybody will benefit for two reasons. Almost everybody every income group on average gets a tax cut, but the economy is going to grow. You're going to get faster wages. If you're a high-income individual with a big tax loophole, you probably have business income. You probably invest in a corporation, own a small business. Those tax rates go down. And we're lowering your tax rates all the way down on every dollar you make up to that really high tax rate. So here's the point I'd say. We looked at the numbers, and 90% of all Americans pay less than $10,000 in property taxes. So we are saying let's keep the property tax deduction for individuals up to $10,000 because we can capture just about everybody in America. So we're saying, in addition to having your higher per child tax credit, in addition to doubling your standard deduction, in addition to lowering your tax rates, let people have their first $500,000 of mortgage, write that interest off, and in addition, let people write off $10,000, up to $10,000 of their property taxes. That helps especially those people in those high tax states. I've got friends and family in Maryland. I know that's one of those states. So they have really high property taxes. We want to make sure that people enjoy this across the board, and that is why we added back into the legislation in the House to be sensitive to those people in those high tax states, the additional ability to write off your property taxes up to $10,000. You do those things, and that means the vast majority of people in all these places are better off.
But you know,